Evening, ladies and gentlemen, right here. I love mess back for another Transformers transformation review thingy. That's the thing. Transformers transformation review thingy. TTRT. That's not very sexy. Sure. That's the thing you wanted to hear. So there you go. Say it one more time. Transformers transformation review thingy. So I recorded this review last night, not this one. I did a review last night of the same character. But I got to the end and I realized I left out a few kind of glaring errors. No, I didn't leave. One doesn't leave out errors. Made a few errors or left out a few. Very nice stuff. This. I know it looks like a Bloody Mary, but it's just apple and blackberry stuff. Anyway, left out a couple of things. So doing them again today. I've got my bullet points here. I've got bullet points. Look at the little bullet points. Look at all my. Look. What? I can't even read that. Number 4. Oh yes. Wee driver thingy. There you go. I didn't think about that for a moment. So, Transmetal 2 Tigerhawk from the Beast Wars era. So, lots of good stuff to say about this guy. He's flawed. You know, he is flawed, like us all. Part of the people. He is flawed. He was very looking at him there. I'm thinking you were very nearly perfect, but you just didn't quite cut the mustard in all the ways that the old mustard could have been cut. So, is that a cold I see before me? I'm going to give you a little bit of the BG first. Anyway, not enough to do you any harm. Name Tigerhawk, allegiance maximal, right? Function Buck emissary. Subgroup Transmetal 2, he says violence will not be tolerated, surrender or be destroyed. That's a maximum. Okay, right, well, okay, we can get behind that a little bit. A puzzling new cybernetic entity. Tigerhawk is a result of an advanced alien species apprehension of the former Tigatron and Eraser apprehension. Mysteriously combined and reconfigured, Tigerhawk was sent back as a prophet of peace. With a model like that, violence will not be tolerated, surrender will be destroyed. I think the United Nations or NATO would have something to say about that. Certainly doesn't get his diploma in peace studies. Blah blah blah. Possesses, this is a funky book. Possesses elemental powers to summon earthquakes, electrical storms, and tsunamis. Has Vok alien enhanced intelligence and an incredible arsenal of weapons, including an ion diminisher. Isn't that one of the things you stick in the corner of the room to get rid of the smell of shit? I don't know. That paralyzes enemies. Totally fearless, noble, and ferocious in battle. He is an inspiration to his fellow Maximus. Whatever. Now, where am I so I can see what I'm doing? That's the BG. That's all I'm doing. I don't care. So, he is apparently Tigerhawk and Eraser. Splurged together by the Bok. No, Tigertron. So there's Tigertron. I've got it's interesting because I've got all 3 iterations of the mode. I believe there's only one. Do you know the way you get there are multiple Megatrons across the Transformers universe and blah blah yakety schmackety, even Eraser. I think there's only one Tigatron. I would be interested to know what other characters exist. Excuse me, I'm very windy tonight. One of the characters exists only once apart. It's disgusting to burp, but Tigatron, I think there's only one Tigatron. There's his wee face there. I think there's only one Tigatron. I'm not sure. So, it's Tigatron and... Ooh, there's an interesting series of videos. Of characters that have only one iteration. Think about that. Eraser, because he is Transmetal 2, so I'm giving him the Transmetal 2 Eraser thing. She's a nice thing. She's got this budgerigar mode. You just flip her beak down, and then she turns all of a sudden from Eraser into Pretty Polly. Look at her there. She looks very mundane all of a sudden. Millet, anybody? Where are we? 4.5 minutes. Yeah, because I don't actually have. Find is hard to believe. In all the bots that I've got next door, I can't find the first Beast Wars Eraser. I'm sure I have, or I'm nearly sure. I've got 2 different iterations of the Transmetal 2, the one that's all black and sexy, And I've also got the BotCon exclusive, but I can't find the. Maybe I don't have her. That's a bit silly. Anyway, let's get on to Tigerhawk. I don't know why I'm doing that. I've just been watching a lot of Austin Powers, and Doctor Evil seems to do this a lot. So, big, impressive, but in white, transmetal 2 blue, and this kind of lime green. Those are ostensibly his colors. I've given him a few other little touches. You see in the cannons here, I've picked out the front of the cannons in some black marker. I just like to do that. There is some black you can see on his face. So, the good things, the pros. The articulation is good. There's lots of movement here in the legs and in the front. And he's just impressive all around. Now let me just, I want to get to the stuff that makes you go, why would they do that? I want to get to the good stuff first of all. Okay, so his mouth will open. I want to go that way so you can see. See, it's the case with bots is that one side is very kind of screw heavy, isn't it? Rather, and the other side is screw less, more or less. Now look at this. He's got a movable tongue. Look, his little blue tongue will move. Isn't that just the cutest and oddest little bit of detail? Now, the way I want to display this, what the fuck is this? Get rid of that, Jesus. The way I want to display this guy is with his wings in the horizontal position, so that they would be like that, so that he would look really impressive. And you would think, well, why don't you just do that right? Because if you do, these missile launchers here, it is a cute and clever little trick, but they will only stay in this position as long as the wings are here. As soon as you lower them, what happens is this entire array here will flip 180 degrees, and there's an automatic firing mechanism which will deploy this missile on both sides. Right. I'm going to show you the gimmick, which is quite cool. You see, he's got this big switch on his back. Where is it? This is the thing that I missed yesterday. He's got this big switch on his back there. So when you deploy that, what happens is that both wings come to the nice position. Now you heard that, didn't you? And they both fired up. Now this is the way I want to display him, because I mean, look at that. That way is so much more impressive, because you don't see all this undercarriage shit. Because what's going on here is actually quite ugly. Now, but obviously what happened is we went from here. I'll just show you. This wing, both wings went like this. That thing flew forward, and the missile deployed as well. Bafflingly, is this odd little gimmick here popping up? I don't know what I don't know about. There you go. That happens anyway. Now, the other thing is, what's really quite cool here. So, I mean, I didn't want that to happen. I would quite like these to flip forward, yes, these to flip forward, but for me to deploy the missiles as and when. Oversight, I think so. They thought they were just being a little too clever. What the fuck is this? This shit here. So, these wings are cool. I like the way they come forward like this. The way to make them come forward is you deploy this deploy. Nice. They come forward, they flick forward like that. So we get all the stuff out of the way. And these will fire. Yes, of course they will. You here and shoot out and what have you. Now, everything's good about this. I like this. He's even got, look at these little things here. You see, he's going to grab my fingers. There's little triggers here on either side. And they will just, his little talons will, and that's cute. You know, that's nice. It's a nice little thing. And you can just reset them any other way at all. You see underneath he's got this similar thing that Transmetal 2 Megatron did. He's got this space for a wee driver thingy, 0.4 there, covering all the points. I'm just going to pick up my missile. Other ones over there. So yeah, he's got this, and he was billed, I suppose, as the he was the maximal version of, I think they were Ultras. I think he was, you know, if you got Transmetal 2 Megatron, then you would also have to get this guy, because he was the maximal equivalent. He was the same class size. He was Transmetal 2. in a big old lovely fucking box. He had three. Um, he had three modes. No, they don't. They have two very successful modes and one really shit. Well, I'm just going to shoot this thing again. So that goes like that. This is his alt mode, where you bring these wings forward like that in the position I just showed. In order to alt mode him, you take that battle mask down over his face like so, and that doesn't do anything to improve it. Now, this in itself would not hinder this bot for the fact, only for the fact that it sits just above his head. And that makes me very, very ill to think that someone sat down and thought, that's fine, the kids won't mind, what the fuck do the kids know anyway, blah blah, yaggity smackety. Anyway, let's get back to this little driver thing. He's got this little driver thing, and it moves when you see it's gravity operated. It's nothing startling the mechanical. So there you go. I have covered this. These will fly out. So there you go. That one's flown over there. Just put it back in. Are we? So transformation. Interesting. Ooh, yes. It is an interesting little transformation. So you've got a free up little sections. You got free at the back. This actual, what is the head section here, which extends around to here, is going to become an arm. You see, arm. And underneath, just underneath, is also arm. So we extend this little bad boy, pull little head section out. Can you see this? What's happening here? It's an interesting thing. So yeah, like this, so like this. What's happening next? What happens next is that we have to take the fold up his little feet. I think we have to do that in a minute. And they are going to rotate the legs. Oh, this is his hiney, basically. This is going to come all the way around. But you've got to rotate the talons all the way around until they just kind of stuff into these blue bits of the roof. Then this is going to come down a little bit. You see, I've freed it from the back here like that, which allows us to open up, take the entire front paws and move them all the way to the back. Now, he's in limbo at the minute. Look. So what you've got to do is take this green section here, rotate it, what's that, clockwise, I suppose, 90 degrees. There's the maximal spark crystal. Oh yes, it was going to be somewhere, wasn't it? Then this, you can continue taking the rear section that had his back legs up. Oh dear, I don't want anything else to deploy here. That's the problem. No, before I do that, forgive me. His head's going to come out from there. Yes, indeed it is. And we can continue with the movement of that. Now we'll think about this section in a minute. See, I'm holding it together. You just put these legs together. You see in the normal way, well, which has become common over the past decade or so. I do like the way this. I think it's very economical use of hip joints and leg joints and stuff like that. So just to finish this transformation for the feet, you flip the Tigerhawk alt mode feet back, and then you bring this big panel down. Now, in actual fact, to me, you're exchanging large clawed feet for smaller clawed feet, and you're moving a transmetal section from the upper to the lower, and it doesn't make a huge bit of difference, really. I mean, there you go. They don't look incredibly different, you know. So the next thing to do here is to sort out his top part here. Basically, we just kind of, yes, I've got it. You just kind of maneuver it until you see the, one thing. Yeah, there we go. See, claws are more or less facing forward like this. And then that means you can pin the arms post and port, line up post and port. Where is it? Post and port, line up post and port on either side, post and port on either side. So the gimmicks will deploy once again in this mode. Now he is there for all intents and purposes. He is there. Now there are some little additional things that I really must point out here. Let's see if we can give him an interesting pose. I love the way his tail becomes this tabard. I really like this. I picked out a little bit of detail here just because I like to go with things with a black marker for a while once I get them. I'm just going to put these. Normally you see these wings up like that or like that, and that's fine. Yes, it is, but I like to have his wings so that they're pointing downwards. And once again, you've got these were his weapons that deployed earlier, the ones that shot all the way out across the freaking room. And you see, what I'm going to do is going to take these bad boys out. This is the good thing about this. You can take these boys out. Take both of them out, and he can hold them in his hand quite successfully. Now, there's a really cool thing you can do here. You can put them in the upper and lower fist. Now, just imagine there's a missile here. There is a missile. It's in the same room as me, and it's about 4 foot in that direction. So I'm just not going to go get it. You see, in his left hand, he can hold both of those in this funky cannon way. But also in his right hand, as part of his very own detail, he has a similar thing going on. I like that. Now, all these, the good thing about these gimmicks is that they're all going to work again really well in this mode. These wings are going to do their thing, and these boys are going to deploy. Let's have a look at his face, because it's an interesting face because he's actually quite ugly. There's something very skeletal. He looks like he's extremely constipated. I'm not sure how much you can see there, but he looks like he's having a really difficult shit. Poor bastard, that's all I can say. Now, he isn't the most attractive bot, and the branches of that very ugly tree hit him a few times on the way down. Oh, got a bit of transformation detail here. But he is very posable, and he is actually, there is something very heroic, there is something very Maximal-esque about him. He's handsome in his physique, certainly not in his face, because he is like ugly. But nice bot to have. Stand him next to Megatron, he's going to look fucking awesome. This guy's been repainted once. Razor Claw. Talking black and purple and nice Decepticon colors, you know. I want that. And that's another thing I'm adding to the list. Tertiary mode, yeah, we didn't talk about that. That's another thing I'm adding to the list for auto assembly. The Razor Claw, really must get that. But he is an interesting bot, and that's the thing I want to do, interesting bots. So here's the thing: what bots in existence have had one iteration? I think Tigertron has had one iteration from the Beast Wars era. I can't think of any just off the top of my head, but I will have a think about it. Interesting. Please send answers on the postcard, or just send me a private message or whatever. But look at this guy, very, very nice. I've got his box as well. Very, very nice. Got his box. I'm very pleased with his box. It's huge. Same size as Megatron. Transmetal 2. Tigerhawk, ladies and gentlemen. Recommending him. He is a flawed piece of work that is almost perfect. Almost perfect. Not quite. Okay, we'll see you all auto assembly, and hopefully some of you much sooner. Ladies and gentlemen,